We're selling everything in our house and the house, but now the question is,
where are we gonna live? Hi, I'm Corey.
And I'm Mike. And so we are retiring at the end of this school year and moving to Orlando.
From Texas. And so we have a big question ahead of us, and that is, where are we going to live and how are we going to find that housing? We've been lucky enough that we've been doing this for a little while, and we've been able to connect with other people that have actually also made this move. Some of them have moved with their families and they have young children, and some of them are in their 20s or 30s, and some people are even older than that. We've been following them on social media.
Yeah, shout out to Disney Dad.
That's right. Oh gosh, I wish I could remember the names of all of them, but we've been able to connect with quite a few through different social media outlets. The good thing is that we've been back and forthing with them a little bit. We've always been able to, we understand that we don't know everything, and we have never been afraid to ask questions. Yeah. There you go. And so we reach out to people to see what their expertise is or what their knowledge is, because we like to offer our knowledge. So we've been able to connect with a few people, and we've actually come up. We've had 3 different sets of people that suggested 3 different really, really good things. Yeah. Ask me what those 3 things are.
What are those 3 things?
I'm so glad you asked. Well, first of all, I did have somebody who is over there, and he suggested Apartmentscom. We're not sponsored by them. If they want to sponsor us, that'd be great. But actually, I found that was helpful because when we started looking and searching for apartments, you just got put in like Orlando or Orlando area, and I mean, it seems like 1,000 different options come up.
A bit overwhelming.
Right, and then we'll say, oh, this is close, the price looks right, but then you have to dig a little bit, and then you find the reviews are bad, or you might find some things that don't fit. I found that through Apartments.com, it already kind of edits some of those out for you, and it gives you that 4-star and 5-star rated apartment complexes. Right. So that was really, really helpful, because then you know you're getting a better product, I guess, or there are better choices. So we went and we started searching through all of those, and we spent some time doing that, and we thought that was really helpful, and we found some really good things, because we would like to find things, some place to live that's close to the parks. But we had to also weigh the option of, do we want to pay a little bit more and live close to the park, or do we want to pay a little less and be on the outside? But then if we're on the outside, you also have to pay the tolls coming in. So there's a lot of math to it. And also all those other fees. And speaking of fees, the second person that did suggest to us were the 55 and over communities. Right. Now, are we 55 and over?
Yes, we are.
I just barely am. You already are for a whole, 12 months. So we do qualify to be in the 55 and over communities. Yeah. So we've heard both good things and some things that might be a little bit, we might question a little bit more, just to try to find out a little more information. We did have somebody, a blogger, reach out to us and say, hey, you guys are over 55. If you want to purchase a home, then that would be better. There are some communities where the housing is less expensive if you are 55 and over. Not sure why, but maybe they think people are going to stay there for longer periods of time, or I don't know what that is. But that they said that there's that option. We do not want to buy. We're not looking at buying right now, at least not in our first year. We would like to rent, and so that's not really an option for us. But we did look at some of those communities.
Yeah, one of the common things a lot of people have talked about is the HOA fees, and so that's kind of a put off to some people that I've seen on YouTube itself.
And there's both rentals and you can purchase.
Correct.
So there are communities where you can rent to live there. Some of them do come with a lot of, quote unquote hidden fees. You just have to ask questions. We found out about the garbage concierge service on some of them.
That one I actually heard from Paging Mr. Morrow.
That's right.
That's the first time I'd heard of it. So
he is another YouTube or a blogger that we found on different social media outfits. But he said, so that's where they come and pick up your trash for you and take it to, take it out for you. But you don't have the choice of not paying for that, not using that service. So there's a lot of that actually in either owning homes and things like that, or renting. Then you have to there's also insurance, different insurances, there's different fees. So it's just about doing the research. But the 55 and over communities, we did find there's also a lot of options as far as extra activities. If you're maybe like us, that we don't really know a whole lot of people. We have a few family members that live in the city, but you would be able to meet a lot of people in that same age kind of group.
Plus, there's a lot more activities also on top of what you would do for the parks. And they have golf, they have tennis, all kinds of games and stuff like that. And shopping nearby.
What is that? That's pickleball is really, really popular right now, and a lot of them have pickleball groups and tournaments and whatnot. So anyway, that was a different option for the 55 and over. There's both owning. There's areas where you can own, and there's areas where you can just rent, but you must be 55 and over. So we looked at some of those, and they look really, really nice. Then we had a wonderful person, and I can't remember, but she did comment on one of our YouTube videos that she and her husband moved from Maine down to Orlando a year ago, and she did say that was the best move that they've ever made. But she said that they went through Airbnb, and they just rented a place for 2 months, and during those 2 months they searched for a home. So then they used that time to search for something. And so I thought,
makes a lot of sense.
Makes a heck of a lot of sense, because we were going to take a long weekend in January to try to tour some places. But then I was starting to feel like, oh my gosh, we got to see as much as we can in that, 3-day span that we can take. And then we thought, do we have to go back in March? Anyway, I think we really are right now leaning on towards doing something like that. The Airbnb stuff, we're thinking that'll, if we go in there to an Airbnb while we're looking for something else, if we decide, we want to spend a little more time searching for a rental property, then we feel less pressure to make a decision quickly over like a weekend visit.
Right.
Also, what we found out was they're pretty economical. Economical.
So what's really neat is they're fully loaded with furniture. Everything's set to go there for you, and you're paying almost the same price as an apartment.
Right. And the bonus is that when you go into an apartment, we'd have to sign that contract for at least a year. And hoping that that's the right place. Also, you have to have a deposit. Some require first and last month's rent. And so if we go into an Airbnb, yes, it's already furnished, so we don't have to move anything. And also, you don't have to have those extra fees of, let's say, like HOA. Even the electricity is included in the price of the rentals of these. You don't have to leave like a first and last month's rent. You don't, or deposit. You don't have to. So we're like, wait a minute. That sounds like a really good deal. Unless I'm missing something, I think Airbnb is the way to go, at least for a little bit for us.
We'll get to know the area a little bit better. There's a little less pressure.
A little time. And I think that you even can, with some places, you can get a discount if you stay longer. So if you say, okay, we're going to take 2 or 3 months, then you can get, and you feel, and there's a lot of them have a lot of amenities there. Not a whole lot of Airbnbs did I find so far that that are close to the park that have a washer and dryer inside the apartment. But they usually have them on the complex. But there are different options there for renting houses through that, or fully furnished or apartments. There are even some that are just a single room, which we don't want to do that for, not for us for a couple months, like with other people, like I guess other people in the house or something. But anyway, we're kind of leaning towards that right now of the 3 options.
We still have to do more research and look more into it. And if you all have any comments, please give us some comments there at the bottom there. We'd love to hear more because it is a challenge when you're trying to move to some place that you're not as familiar. You may not have as much family. We're a little over 1,300 miles away, so that makes it a little bit of a challenge as well. So please help us out. Write in the comments there, and don't forget to subscribe, and like our video too.
Right. So we also would like to rely on some of your expertise and your help. If you've made that move, or if you're from the Florida area, or if maybe you've moved somewhere else and you decided to Airbnb it for a long time, maybe what are the pros and cons on that kind of thing?
Right.
So help us out and
yes, please
follow us along.
Absolutely.
And until next time,
have a
magical week. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.